Hello, everyone. This is Anne, and it's time to dig into the walking exercise. This is a tough one. There are so many moving parts working together and subtle weight shifts moving back and forth. And that's why the focus was on creating a casual vanilla walk, just to keep it simple. So after nailing the casual walk, then it's really fun to try out crazier styles. So I put on the screen here a little sketch just to talk about a few things about the walk cycle. So as you have learned, there are a few key poses important to convey that move, and basically the character, the well, in this case, a human being, you're doing this weight shift where you're moving your weight from one foot to the other foot, and so the contact pose is where that shift happens. On the contact pose, the weight is even on both feet, and then shifts on the other, and then the other. And as you can see, the height changes. It kind of creates this little wavy line in yellow here on your screen. Some students have a tendency to pose the character leaning forward or backwards to kind of, I guess, simulate walking forward, but that's not necessary. If you can pose up and down and then think about the spine having some suppleness and reacting to the up and down momentum energy, then it would make sense to have it curl like you can see on screen here. So going down, the torso straightens. Going up, it straightens, but then on the passing and contact, it curves back and forth in reaction to that move. And then with the panning background, that's where you really get the feeling of moving forward. And for a vanilla walk like this, or really any cycling walk, it's way easier if both steps could be the exact same width. So it's easier to create that looping. It is possible to have, of course, a character limping and looping, but then it's a little bit more work to tweak that so the feet don't look like they're slipping. But anyway, I'm going ahead here because we're not doing that. We're doing the vanilla walk. So a lot of hard work was put into the exercises. I've seen this session. I'm really happy about how everyone is putting in the time. So let's look at some of them together. Let's start off with Elvis. We'll open up his walk here, make it bigger. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so nice pacing to this walk, very relaxed feeling. Let's look at it again. Elvis was thinking, maybe I'll loop it that way we could just look at it while I talk. Let's see. So Elvis was concerned that the arms were too smooth looking maybe for this character, and I think they look just fine. Yeah, they're a nice little swing, and it's makes sense with the speed of this walk. I mean, some students are because of these beefy arms opt for a more kind of a solid feel to the swings, and that's fine too. There's just a couple things here I wanted to talk about, and so this is something subtle, but I felt it. I did feel it. So I don't know if you see, look at this foot here. What do you see? It looks like to me, it looks like it's sinking, going down the ground plane. So I went into I wasn't too sure, but I was like, something's going on here. It doesn't look solid. So I went in here, and as a matter of fact, yes, the foot was going down underneath the ground plane, and you see how subtle it is. It's so subtle. It's just this little bit, but I could feel it. There was a bit of a smushiness there. So that's super easy to fix, Elvis. Another thing I talked about, and I'll talk about it about another student's work coming up as well, is the motion path of the cog. So let's see here. This is the motion path of the cog on Elvis's walk. And you see how it's so pointy. Try smoothing that out a little bit. Try smoothing that path, and it'll make a difference in the movement of the cog. It'll feel not as jaggedy. Okay, so that's a good tip there. And okay, just two more little things before I go. But so Morgan, it shows you how to delay the lifting of the heel roll to prevent the wobble in the knee, which is a great trick. But if you do it if it's too exaggerated, then you'd completely lose that up pose that we so carefully built. So I'm feeling that the heel stays on the ground maybe a little bit too long. So that the leg looks a little bit like a wooden leg at some point. I mean, it's subtle, I know. But feels a little bit, it could be a bit smoother, I think, Elvis, like over here. Like it just looks so straight. But anyway, you can try maybe not making this so exaggerated. It's a fine line, I know. But all in all, Elvis, I think this walk feels really good. It's really relaxed. And there's up and down movement in the feet. Apart from that sinking, look pretty solid. So awesome. I opened up Marjo's work here, put it on looping, and let's go. Let's look at this. Okay, so right away, I'm feeling that this is a bit too fast. It's supposed to be a relaxing vanilla walk, but he seems to be speed walking here. So yeah, just overall, you can make that walk a little bit slower. I think it would fit these types of moves better. Nice wide strides. Ollie has long legs. Something I noticed too is like this foot, a lot of you didn't really relax it. Like when the foot steps, you can relax this foot more, a little bit more, so that it doesn't like look so stiff, like something to think about. You might have to lift the leg a little bit more so it doesn't go through the ground plane if you relax the foot. You have to look at that. Okay, so going here. Let's see if the foot are slipping. Oh, they're pretty solid. I think they're slipping a little bit, so you can look at the panning speed. But they look pretty solid. And I like the arm swings too. Very smooth. No hitch. Actually, this one looks a little bit smoother than the left one, but the head bob is nice too. See how she offset the rotation of the head a little bit, so it's looks like an overlap and follow through on the head. So overall, excellent work, Marjo. Here's the last example of the tweened walk I will show today, and it's from Whitney. So Whitney was concerned that the knees were snapping a bit too much. I'm not really bothered by that. I think it looks fine. What you want to be careful of is wobbling, and that's when the knee kind of goes back, front, like straight, bent type of thing. But here you've got bent. I'm looking at this knee here. You've got bent, straight, bent, and then big bent. So maybe this is what makes it look a little snappy here. Chuk, chuk, chuk. like this. Like these two bends seem the same, and then all of a sudden it bends like this. So maybe this, you can play with maybe the motion path here so that this bend is a little bit more bend for a smoother transition. So you can try that. The arm swings are really nice. Again, this nice kind of subtle torso bending. What I was explaining about the spine being supple, it's not necessarily has to be super exaggerated. It can be subtle. A little bit maybe of offset on the head rotation would create a nice head bob. But look at the arms, very smooth. I think you have to go back into the background panning speed and tweak that. There's a little bit of slippage, okay? And this is also an animation where smoothing out the cog motion path would probably help. Probably make it look a little bit more smooth. But overall, Whitney, this is a really great walk, and good job on this. I've got a run animation to show now. This was an optional exercise and much more forgiving than a walk cycle, as it happens so fast, and it's basically a step jump type thing. So precise, strong key poses are extra important, as there is almost no tweening. So I've got one run to show, which is Brian's. Okay, so you'll notice something right away when I play it. Okay, so strong key poses. I like the contrast between the push-off landing and air time. There's a little bit of air time happening. But it's like the $6 Million Man, super slow-mo. A run to me feels really way faster than this. So Brian, I think all the elements are there. Just make it faster. So he can be really running, not kind of moon surface while running. and then you'll have to tweak, of course, the background to go with that. Let's try to make it maybe run. See, like this. Okay, wait. That's maybe too much. Okay. Yeah, a bit faster, right? Even like a jog pace. So notice, like, I just want to show the key poses. So I like here how the legs are parallel to each other. Everything posed on the strong line of action going this way. If the foot is too far ahead, it doesn't look realistic because he has to be able to transfer his weight correctly. Nice curled line of action here, pushing off, nice straight leg. Okay, some air time, nice height. Again, good line of action going on here diagonally. And the arm swinging. So yeah, the key poses are perfect here. So just overall speed to work on, and then this will be perfect. Thanks, Brian. That's it for me this week. Keep those assignments coming, and remember that you can take a peek at your fellow students' After Effects projects. You can download them to see how others dealt with certain things you might be having trouble with. So don't forget you have that resource that you can use. So yeah, so keep up the excellent work.